This is just a short video about holsters and the mistakes that you can make when buying holsters. This is probably about 10% of the holsters that I own. I'm just too lazy to get the rest of them ones out. Every time I buy a gun, I wind up buying 3, 4, I don't know, maybe more holsters for a particular gun. And that's not smart, and it's really not being efficient. So, by learning from my poor choices, maybe you guys out there could make better choices than I. You know, when you buy a gun, you got to get a holster that fits well. And it's really important that you get something that's going to last and not too cheap, or, you know, not too expensive if there's such a thing. But, you know, this cheap holster for North American Arms, I used it once or twice. It's okay. This cheap holster for a Beretta Tomcat 32. It's meant to be like a pocket holster, but it's a piece of junk. So, you know, this goes in the category of not using again. On the other hand, I have a lot of these Nemesis by DeSantis holsters, and, you know, they're cheap, but they work really good. But the idea is, you know, what do you want to do? Do you want to put it in your pocket, or do you want it to be in the waistband holster? Sometimes, like for a larger gun, like a 1911 full size, you know, you can get something like this. This is a Galco classic holster, and it's good. It wasn't expensive. I don't even remember what it cost, but it's not an expensive holster. But it's an in the waist holster for this, and to be honest, that's a really uncomfortable place to carry such a large gun. I don't know. It's like 30 ounces, 33 ounces or something. This gun, and you know. You could try it in appendix carry. You've got lots of luck with that. You could try it on 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock. It's uncomfortable. If you stand in, it's okay. If you got to sit in the car, it's very uncomfortable. So, you know, buying the right holster is important. If you're going to carry such a gun such as this, this also is a Galco, but this is an outside the waistband holster. This is a very comfortable holster. It's open-ended, as you can see. And let's just do it the right way. It is open-ended, and you could carry this very comfortably outside the belt. And, you know, if you wear a good gun belt, which everyone should have a good gun belt, you're not going to know you have it on. But you have to wear a concealment garment so it's covered. Otherwise, you got a problem, depending on what state you're living in, you know, with exposing your gun, and it could be a breach of peace. Or you could just upset, you know, a little old lady somewhere, which is not what we want to do. So, I'm not a big fan of open carry. I don't think that anyone should know that I'm carrying a gun, especially the bad guys. But, you know, again, that's an example of making the right choice when you're buying a holster. And again, there's a million better ones out there. And, you know, leave your comments or tell me what you think about this holster, or ones that you have for your full-size 1911. But, you know, to each his own. But my point is, you know, I don't know how much money I spent on holsters over the years. It's, you know, it's just a lot of money. And, again, this is just a brief sampling. And, you know, here's another inside the waistband. This is from the holster store. I get a lot of holsters from them. And this is for a Ruger SR9C, which I will do a review on. It's one of my favorite guns. They're all my favorite guns, but this is just another one. But this is an example of probably a $30 holster. It's not the best. You could see it's not too thick, but it's not too thin. And it's a good size holster. But what's important is it totally covers the trigger guard, and it covers the muzzle. So, and it's got a pretty good strong clip that it definitely stays on your belt when, you know, when you're carrying. And, you know, to pull it out, the holster will stay in place. Again, this is an inside the waistband holster. So, and this gun is small enough. It's a mid-sized gun, I would say. it is small enough that you can carry it inside the waistband without, without it being too uncomfortable. If you had a light on it or anything like that, of course you're not going to be able to do that. But, that's an example of a good fitting holster. The other thing is when you add attachments to your gun, like on the SIG 238, right now I don't have the laser on it that I sometimes carry on it. So then you got to buy different holsters, if this is the right one, that fit with the laser or without. So now this is just also from the holster store. That's a holster that, fits pretty well, cheap holster. And that's what I got for the SIG when I don't have the laser on it. But when I put the laser on it, it's going to be a lot wider, with the built-in laser that comes with the SIG 238. And then I have to put it into this gun, in this holster. But as you see, without the laser, this holster is just going to sit in the drawer. So that's the whole thing. So, again, this is just a small sampling, but, try to be smart when you buy a holster, unless you got money to burn and, you just want to keep buying a lot. I really think, as much as I like supporting my local gun stores, and I do buy a lot of guns from the local guys, when I first really got my gun addiction, I was buying holsters from them, and most of the time they were just a cheap Nemesis or something. Because gun stores, especially where I live, they don't have that much of a selection. So I started just going on Amazon and eBay, and you can pretty much get anything you want on Amazon or eBay, and the prices are good. So you're better off just purchasing the gun and then getting the right holster. Again, sometimes you need an inside the waistband, sometimes you need an outside the waistband, but like me, you probably don't need 3 or 4 different holsters for each gun. And again, if I have a steamer trunk full of holsters, and I really have to label them because sometimes it gets a little confusing. But anyway, so that's just a quick tip on holsters, and I hope you guys do a little better than I did on this, and make a smart buying choice when you get your holster. Okay, take care.